All right, guys, I'm here with Shane from Australian Jewish Association. Do you just want to tell us, because we met today and we started chatting, what we're doing here today in front of the ABC?
Yeah, so what we're here for today is to protest, but also to bring to everyone's attention the ABC bias, which seems to be pandemically throughout the organisation. They seem to have a narrative which they go with, and whatever Israel does, they condemn it at every turn, and they misreport any story to suit their narrative. So we're here to bring attention to cases like when the hospital was bombed in November 2023, 500 people dead plus many more injured was reported as an Israeli attack. And when later on evidence emerged that it wasn't even on the hospital and it was a misfired Islamic Jihad missile, they never corrected their media reporting, and they rely on Hamas Health Ministry for a lot of their information because it suits their narrative. And we see that it's not just when it comes to Israel, but many other issues as well. And given it's a taxpayer organisation, and we're spending well over $1 billion a year on it, they've got a duty of care to report facts for the Australian people and stop driving the level of anti-Semitism that we're seeing in Australia, because when they start reporting about babies being killed, unfortunately that's a result of any war. But this isn't a war that Israel started, it's a war that Hamas started, and the ABC is just supporting this narrative out there, and it just drives a lot of the anti-Semitism that we see on our streets, and people are being attacked. And we've seen things like synagogues burning, and even at Bondi, one of the nieces of one of the victims called out the ABC reporter on the ABC because it was live, that their reporting helped help the culture that we're seeing in Australia that resulted in Bondi, and unfortunately it's not the end.
Look, I was actually a guest speaker on Parliament steps after what happened in Bondi. It was horrific, and it changed Australia.
It did.
And what do you say to that? I mean, with what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this has been something that's been pushed through our academia and universities for decades. It started in 1993 in Philadelphia in a secret meeting that the FBI actually recorded, and money has been poured into academia, into universities, and we're seeing this narrative today that we didn't experience. I was a university student in the 1990s, saw none of this. And the fact that these days these universities are supporting these genocidal regimes, they're quiet on other issues such as Christian slaughter in Nigeria, Sudan, Congo, and what is happening in Iran, it just shows that moral clarity in this country is collapsing. And unless you fit within this oppressor or oppressed narrative, you can do no wrong. So the Jews and Israel is defined as an oppressor, so no matter what happens, it supports the behaviour that we're seeing. And this is repeating what happened in the 1930s. The Holocaust didn't start with the gas chambers. It started with rhetoric that eventually became normalised. So when violence commenced, people saw it as acceptable, and we're seeing that here.
Yeah. It's. I mean, like I actually said on the steps of Parliament after Bondi. It should never have happened. It just never, ever should happen, especially on our amazing shores. I mean, it broke my heart, and especially being a father, I even said that regarding Matilda.
Yes.
And I actually even said about the drop of the ball by ASIO and the Intel. It just simply wasn't good enough.
Correct.
And how do places like the ABC get funded? That should be going towards issues and problems that we're having.
Correct, and what we saw in Bondi, you see the images just moments before. Rabbi Eli Schlanger is in the same photo just within the last 6 minutes with Matilda, and she's so happy, and you're just seeing these people, and so many of them, are immigrants like you and I. My grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and my grandfather gave his testimony in the 1990s, and in it he says, you are lucky to grow up in Australia, a country free of the anti-Semitism we grew up with. Always be kind to all mankind, and he's no longer with us. He's been gone over 10 years. But I often wonder what he would say. You know, you had immigrants come here for a better life.
Yes.
And it's been like that for decades. But when I mean, it raises the overall issue of immigration when you bring in people who don't value Australian values
100%.
and respect the
100%.
culture here,
100%.
then there's a problem.
I mean, look at our crime rate.
Crime.
The most livable city.
Yeah.
Now, every time I see social media
Yep.
on the news, they used to laugh at us. Now they're on our platforms.
Correct.
It's just a war zone.
It
It is
is.
ridiculous.
And you know, I've just come from my office on Queen Street,
Yep.
and on the corner of Elizabeth Street, there's 3 police cars now. So something's going on down there. Again,
and
it's not a
we've seen
day.
all those fire trucks. Who
Yeah.
knows? There seems to be a lot of places self-combusting.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and we have bigger issues here. We've got, you know, CFMEU corruption.
Yes.
We've got, you know, $600 million we've just paid to not host the Commonwealth Games.
We are hemorrhaging money.
We are hemorrhaging money, and what are we leaving to our children? I keep thinking, if I'm not here to speak up for the next generation, what are we doing?
I totally agree. Thank you, my friend.
Thank
It's
you
an
so
absolute
much.
honour. Thank you.
Thanks for
guys.
having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, that was great.